Okay, the area in red is what is right now traditionally the Mansfield attendance area. The area in blue and the area just to the right of it, Mrs. Chichuli, the other side, there we go, yep. My right, your left, okay, is traditionally the Blossburg area, attendance area. And the area below in the green is traditionally the Liberty area. That's traditionally where the areas of attendance would be. The red area above, in this case, would continue to be Warren L. Miller. That would be the Warren L. Miller attendance area. The area in the blue would now be the Blossburg attendance area, Blossburg Elementary attendance area. And the area in the green would be the Liberty Elementary area, including that section just to the right there. That is correct. In the middle of the district, you'll see a black line right there. And then it extends north and then back to the east. That would be the high school attendance area. Everything north of it would attend Mansfield High School. Everything south of that then would attend Liberty High School. If you look where that black line is intersecting a smaller rectangle in there, that is Blossburg. Okay? So there is a line running through Blossburg in that case where some of those kids will go north and some of those kids will go south. We have a computer program that we still need to run on these routes called TransFinder that would indicate exactly where each address and where they would attend. I will tell you that we did sit down with one bus contractor and several people to look at these to give us an idea of where routes would be. I think the other thing that's important to remember here, that they're not straight lines, they're bus routes. And that's why they have some variance. These are determined by bus routes. And I want to just look at my notes to make sure I'm hitting everything. I think the other thing that is important is when they were drawn, they were to maximize the bus routes, to get as many children on the bus as possible so that we don't have empty buses running. And it's also to somewhat control populations in schools, all right? So that we knew we had to put that line somewhere where we couldn't overcrowd either school with high school. We have a certain limit to what we can either put at Liberty High School or put at Mansfield High School. So we had to choose a line, especially that high school line, somewhere where we could balance, not equal, but where we could fill those high schools, not to capacity, but where there was some delineation of where we were going to put students. I'll stop there for a minute and take any questions. Before we move to the next slide, it's going to be the same map. The black line is going to be in the same location because we're not changing high school attendance areas. You're going to see a slight change in elementary lines from this slide. Remember, this is, you'll see in some places called option 1 or scenario 1. We got a little gun shy on calling them scenario because we've had so many in the past presented to us that we tried to make it an option. But this is option 1, and of the two options that you looked at in the slide before, this is the one that is $43,000 more expensive of the two. All right. Okay, if you can go to the next one. There's one major difference in this one, and you can see that the red line has moved further south and includes a little corridor, if you will, running north and south there. What we asked both a contractor and our transportation staff was to take a look at the runs that were going to be a lot of double runs through that area, where they were going to have to go pick up kids for elementary and take them one direction, and pick up high school kids and take them in a different direction. And I asked if they could look at that area and any other areas that were going to have a significant amount of double runs, and could they come up with places where they could make one run specifically for cost savings. Was there a significant cost savings for any of those, in any of those situations? And looking at it, they came up with one. That corridor really is what you're looking at, amounts to North Williamson Road, or old Route 15, that runs 660 all the way down into Blossburg. So from 660 all the way down 15, those students, that bus would continue to run down 15, pick all of those students up along there, and they would be Blossburg Elementary students. The students to the east and to the west of that then would then be Miller students in this case. There would be very small change in the Arnott area then also. If you can look, just go to your right. Nope, the other direction then. Yep, and down right there is right there. You'll see there's a small jog right there where those kids then will be coming south into the Liberty area. Okay, questions?
Some districts have situations where they pick up all the students and then they transfer buses. Did you look at that? Is that?
We have talked about bus transfers, and what we've tried to look at is where we would do that. Would we do that? And I'm just going to throw out. We say that we were going to have a bus transfer at the Covington Community Daycare Center. And we started running through those scenarios. Let's say 4 or 5 buses pull in there. They drop all of the kids off. The kids load a different bus, and they leave from there, which I think a lot of that has happened before in a lot of different communities. Our concern primarily, one, was safety of having kids off buses and on buses in a location that's not a school. And 2, to address that, would we have to then assign staff to be responsible? What would you do in inclement weather? What would you do if a bus is running late? Again, all of those things do happen. And what those transfer stations would look like. I don't know that they would work out right now the way we have it, the way our school configuration is, that could happen at a school, at one of our buildings right now. So yes, we did at least talk about it in theory, but we did not say what would happen if we picked a spot and came to here and then dispersed from there. Our main concern was how to organize that, safety reasons and staffing reasons. If that's what you were asking.
Well, roughly. I mean,
okay.
I appreciate the concerns, and that would have been a follow-up question if you had it, but it was more a question of if that would allow for just a better result.
And it's difficult also, again, when you look at, say, Ward Township, which is the one here to the right of the Blossburg attendance area. So it's red and then some black and then some green. What did we say today? How many students just in that area? I think there were 12 students in that area. So even though it looks like a large township, sometimes there's not many students in those areas. So we're trying to get a bus in, pick everybody up, and then go to one school instead of having to send 2 buses into a certain location like that.
That corridor, why do we even need that corridor? Can't you switch that corridor and go north with it?
We certainly could.
Wouldn't that be more economically sound?
It is a bus going one direction. So In that case there, as you may well know, that bus was looking at coming out off of 660, running that route down, and also doing some pickups in the Blossburg area and delivering there. So in that case, we have that bus traveling down and doing some other pickups in the Blossburg area and delivering at Blossburg. Could there be another configuration of finding a way to send that north or picking up more of those students? I'd have to sit down with the other contractors and take a look at it. But that was one area where that bus was making one run south, picking out X amount of kids and taking them to Blossburg. Yes?
So in option 2,
Yep. Use your mic, please.
in option 2, it appears that the Mansfield Elementary is getting larger, correct?
That is a correct assumption.
The Blossburg Elementary, I have not, should I look ahead and see if it's...
We'll get to those numbers if you want to, but again, you've done a nice job of not going ahead of me, please. Thank you.
The Blossburg Elementary is getting smaller,
That is correct.
and the Liberty Elementary is at least staying the same, if not growing slightly.
It would grow slightly, that is correct.
But on the flip side, allowing more families, because I did listen to that one comment, which I appreciated, more families staying together with the elementary and the high school through that one corridor, correct?
Through that one specifically, yes. It would allow
I'm
for
just
that.
clarifying because these are...
Right. So, again, you're correct that there were several things that we asked them to look at. There is no way in this scenario to have, if we have firm attendance lines, okay, so let's do that as an assumption, to have every child attending the same attendance area, because you have Blossburg Elementary without a high school. So any child that attends Blossburg Elementary in any configuration at this point is going, and if they have siblings that are attending high school, are going to be in a school without their sibling. So that was impossible to happen. So we asked, only looking at finances, number one, are there any routes or are there any changes that you could make that show a significant financial change, savings, with two, putting more families together than you can.
Right. And then we're getting to the point where the financial savings and the increase in size of schools are merging, right?
We will take a look at that as we move further. Again, our primary concern, though, was to try to decrease double runs through areas to eliminate extra costs. That was the primary concern. If secondarily we gained less families in that case, that was a bonus from what I've heard from most people. Any other questions for these? Not yet. Okay. Okay, we'll move to the next slide. A lot of numbers here at you. You have the buses that would be